What is up guys, Tech with Sean here. Today I'm going to give you some productivity tips to hopefully help you become more efficient at using Microsoft Teams. Jumping straight into it, one problem that may not affect everyone but could be a significant reason for loss of productivity if you experience it is the slow and irritable performance of the Microsoft Teams desktop application. And therefore, my first tip is switch to the Teams web application. The thing is, if you have a PC or a laptop with less than 4 GB of RAM, your Microsoft Teams is going to be running painfully slow. Now, the best and most effective solution here is to upgrade your RAM or opt for a laptop with a higher RAM than 4 GB. But obviously that's going to cost you or your organization, so the best alternative solution is to use the web application. I'm not going to get into how memory works with Teams, but essentially instead of having your desktop application share memory with a browser like Google Chrome, which is probably already running simultaneously, you want to run Teams in the browser itself. In order to do this, just go into your browser, type in teams.microsoft.com and log in there. Try this out and you'll see a significant boost to the performance of Microsoft Teams. Now, not all features work with the web application, but a majority of the features you'll be regularly using will be available. I'll leave a link in the description though if you want to see the difference in features between the web and the desktop application. Also, it might be worthwhile to switch to Microsoft Edge if you have low RAM because it uses much less memory than Google Chrome, but at the end of the day, that depends on preference. Now, you might be familiar with this scenario. You get into a call and there's a constant exchange of, can you hear me? Can you see me? You're breaking up, you're not loud enough, and before you know it, you wasted 10 to 15 minutes just fixing your microphone and your camera. Not only is this a waste of time, but it is also extremely unprofessional. I've seen people try and circumvent this by calling up the nearest colleague and testing it out, but in truth, this is also pretty inefficient. What I like to do instead is give myself 5 or 10 minutes before a phone call, click on the profile picture on the top right, click on settings, go down to devices, make sure that I've picked the microphone and the camera I want to use for the call, and then hit make a test call. This will open up Teams Echo, which if your speaker or headphone is functioning well, will play this message.
To test your call quality, record a short message after the beep. Then your message will be played back to you.
Once it begins, just say something and then Teams will echo it back to you after a few seconds. So you can make sure that your microphone is working a-okay. If you can't hear yourself, then that's a sure sign that your microphone is not working. You can also look at the bottom right and ensure that your webcam is working the way it's supposed to as well. Tip number 3 is one of my personal favorite methods for a boost in productivity, and that is using keyboard shortcuts. Now, you might be put off by this tip because it could be sort of a learning curve for you, but trust me, just learn one new shortcut every single day and soon enough your muscle memory will have you getting around Microsoft Teams like a pro. If you want to view the different shortcuts available, click on your profile pic and then keyboard shortcuts. Once you're here, you'll be able to see a bunch of shortcuts categorized accordingly. I would recommend first getting really comfortable with the navigation since it's one of the easiest shortcuts to get accustomed to. For example, clicking on Control 1 or Command 1 if you're on a Mac will take you to the Activities page, Control 2 to Chat, Control 3 to Teams, Control 4 to Calls, and Control 5 to Files. If anything, get used to this first and you'll slowly come to realize how much accumulated time you're saving by not reaching for the mouse every few seconds. This is sort of tied into our previous tip, which minimizes the use of your mouse. You're probably already familiar with the search bar and how you can use it to search for older conversations, saving you tons of time instead of having to scroll through each chat. But did you know you could use the search bar to get a lot more done in Microsoft Teams? So let's hit Control and / or Command / if you're on a Mac. This will bring up a list of actions. Here we can set, for example, our status. Let's say I want others to see that I'm busy. I type in / busy and that sets my status to busy. You can quick message someone with /chat, or going back to our second tip, test calls. Instead of going into settings, just hit / test call. There's a ton of other things here as you can see, so play around with them, find which ones you use frequently and incorporate it in order to make your workflow much more efficient. One of the most underutilized collaboration aspects in Microsoft Teams is tabs. I'm always surprised to find people that don't utilize tabs and instead go into their files or search for the file in particular to start collaborating with others. This is such a roundabout way of approaching something that is so simple. To utilize tabs, all you need to do is go into the chat of whoever you're constantly collaborating with on a particular document, click on the little plus sign on the top bar, and choose an application. For this example, I'll choose Excel. Remember, someone needs to have shared the file with you on Teams in order for this to work. Adam has shared this customer meeting sheet with me, which we often work together on, so I click on it and hit save. This opens up the Excel sheet as a tab, and every time that I need to work on the sheet, or if Adam ever needs to work on it, all we need to do is go into the tab. Super simple and saves so much time. You can also do this with team channels if you have a group of people working on a document together. You can also integrate apps and websites and a ton of other things if you'd want to. The search functionality is great, but bookmarks are probably the ideal way to find important messages on Teams. All you need to do is to find a message that you know you'll be referring to later on, click on the 3 dots or ellipses here, and then click on Save this message. You can find the saved message either by clicking on the profile picture and going to Saved, or as I mentioned in tip number 4, click Ctrl// and type in / saved, which will bring up all your saved messages. I really didn't want to bring in applications into this list, but since Planner and To Do massively impacts my workflow and is a huge part of my productivity using Teams, why not? To get started, just go into the 3 dots on the sidebar here and you'll be able to add an app called Tasks by Planner and To Do. You can right click and click on Pin to permanently attach it to the sidebar. Now, Planner is geared towards project management and just getting things done as a group, whereas To Do is more for individual task management. With a combination of the two, you can have your managers assign tasks you need to complete, which will then get passed on to your to-do list. If you're someone like me who likes to gamify day-to-day tasks to make things more interesting and actually get them done, then this is absolutely the app for you. When you add tasks on the Teams app, you get to set a priority level and the due date. Once you've done this, download the Microsoft To Do app on your phone and log in. All the tasks that you set on the Teams app, whether it's the web or desktop, will reflect on the Tasks app and vice versa. Those are the 7 tips that I have to help you increase your efficiency and productivity on Microsoft Teams. If you know something that I haven't mentioned here, feel free to comment below, drop me a like if you learned anything new, and subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.